Welcome
Welcome to
to
The
The Empress and
Empress
the
and the
Fool.
Fool.
I'm Sarah Ditmore.
And I'm Caitlin Gulock, and we are here to discuss all things magical and mystic from the perspective of two curious witches.
Mm, mm, mm. This is our bi-weekly tarot time episode where we review our favorite decks, discuss the ethics and methodology of reading tarot for yourself and others.
Yay. There's going to be one day that I actually memorize that instead of having to panic read
That's
it.
gonna that's gonna feel weird when it's like, oh yeah, the intro that we've done 100 times. We're such naturals.
Oh, yeah, natural podcasters.
Speaking of, by the time this episode is coming out, we've had three episodes go live now. Not by the
Yeah.
time this is coming out, by the time we're recording it.
Yes.
So when we're recording it, three episodes have been published so far. And I wanted to tell you two sweet things.
Yes.
In our first episode, we make a joke about my mom being our only listener.
Mhm.
We're like, you say something like, no one's gonna listen to this, and I'm like, my mom will listen to this. And you go like, hi Brenda, and my mom paused the episode to call me and be like, I just got my first shout out.
Oh,
It
stop.
was really sweet. It made me feel very
Stop.
special.
We love you, Brenda.
We do love you, Brenda. You'll get lots of
Thank
shout
you.
outs.
Thank you. Similarly, not my mom, but my partner's mom, um, who's who's pretty much I very much see in that role
Yeah.
anyway. Um, she texted me. I don't know if I told you, but she texted me and she wrote the sweetest thing because she was like, "Oh, you're making a podcast, like send me the episode." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if you're really gonna like it, but I will send it to you, like
Yeah.
whatever." And she's like, I just listened to your podcast last night, and it's like having you in the room with that great voice, laugh, and wordsmithing of yours. And I was like, oh, that's just so sweet.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it made me feel very warm and fuzzy. So also thank you, Renee.
Yeah, I know I've
Yeah.
loved all the sweet messages. My brother also reached out and told me he listened to it and he said, the whole time I just kept thinking, my sister is so cool. You and Caitlin are really fun to listen to.
Stop.
Thanks,
And then
Eric.
thanks, Eric, and to our Castle family for the family we met, the family that we were in when we met, who's just such a
So this is our
spectacular,
like
yeah,
found family that the
yes,
roommates that we had and when we lived together in Scotland. Yeah.
yeah, and even though we haven't seen each other since Toby's wedding, I think,
Yeah, I think that's
which is
right.
really weird. Yeah,
My
we
wedding will be the next one.
yes. I cannot wait. But yeah, I still think of them as my pretty much my primary family
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. Still, even though we haven't seen each other, but they
Yeah.
reached out with really nice messages, and they're like, "Oh, it makes me it reminds me of when we were all eating breakfast in the kitchen and with our weird IKEA table and sitting and giggling." So I don't know,
Yeah, I'm just
I'm
very
really,
grateful for our community right now.
yeah, and I think it's so cool that we made this or we're making this not for any specific purpose either. I don't think we're not in it to be famous podcasters, and we're not in it to promote things, but it's just so nice to see the love that we're getting
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful. I thought we might have 10 downloads or something, but I think we're up to,
We're over 300.
I just 371.
Damn, we're popular.
I know. Yeah. I did grab my dad's phone. So one of them, I grabbed my dad's phone and I was like, listen,
I
and then scrubbed
mean,
through it.
I
And I was
listen to
like,
every episode, so
oh,
I edit, I record it, I edit it, and then I listen to it like a
that's
cool
so
person.
sweet. Well, I do the YouTube thumbnails, so I do have to scrub through the episode and
Hmm.
I mean, I don't watch the whole
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
try to scrub through it just to see where we look really cute, which is very frequently. But I will catch myself just having the biggest grin on. Like I will
Yeah.
forget. I'll forget until it's actually like I'm like, oh, my face hurts. I've been just like staring at us being adorable. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's very fun. It's very like heartwarming. So I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for
This has
you
been
and for
good.
us.
This has been nourishing.
Yeah, it has definitely. And there's like so many things where I'm like, oh, that'll be so fun to talk about on the podcast, or like, oh, I can buy more tarot cards because it will be on the
Oh my God, I
podcast.
just saw a deck the other day. I forget what it was, I'm sure. Oh, I wrote it down. I added it to our list. And
Hmm.
I like saw a cool deck and I was like, well, gotta add that to the list because why not buy it?
I
Why not?
made
We have an excuse now.
I made a wish list folder, and I've just slowly been adding different
Good.
decks. I'm like, okay, I can't buy them all at once,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm
But
scheming.
eventually, if we
I'm
do like a
scheming.
billion episodes, it's an excuse to keep recording.
Yes. I mean, as long as we're still breathing, then there's
Mhm.
an excuse to keep recording.
I do
But
have
yeah.
one, before we get into the deck that we're going to review today, I do have
Mhm.
one not magical thing to share with you, but well, magical in a different way.
Anything you share with me is
So,
magical.
Truckee is having their second ever Pride Week this June, and
Second.
our special guest performer is going to be Patty Gonia.
Stop. I love
I
her.
know, I'm so excited, and you need to come out in June because it's going to be epic.
Oh my God.
I know.
Wait.
I know. It's
Okay.
gonna be incredible.
Okay. I'm having thoughts and plans. Oh my God, what if we do like a little like Pride podcast?
Like live from Pride.
Yes, live from Pride. Oh my God, what if we interview Patagonia about
We should do
being
an
a
episode
nature
about
witch?
queer magic. Okay,
Done.
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it
Yep.
down. Where's my notebook? On
Yep.
it.
I got it too. I got it too.
Uh,
Queer.
Queer
Oh my
magic for
God.
Pride Week.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
surprised we
very
didn't think about
excited.
that before.
Inspiration comes in a lot of ways, and sometimes it's when you're hyper fixated on listing all the episodes for a whole year, and sometimes it's not.
Well, that's the thing I love that we did. We're like, okay, at least we have like a scaffolding
Yeah,
on
but we can
from
change. We're,
from which to change every single episode as we want to on whim.
exactly. I'm pretty sure last time we recorded, we made whole new plans for Halloween, so I took notes. We're good.
I love that one of us is like a little bit more organized than the other.
Peace,
Hey,
autism.
he's ADHD. Okay, I have one more thing to share
Okay.
with you on the topic of ADHD.
Love it.
Okay, I have not one calendar,
Mhm.
not two calendars, my Google Calendar, not, hold on, three calendars planners. I now have a fourth
Oh my
calendar.
God. Is it different information stored on each calendar?
Yep.
Do you use all of them?
Yep.
At least you use all of them. That's what matters.
This one, my mom just sent it to me. She lives in Japan and they have the best. They have the best stationery. So it's like this cute little like desk flip calendar.
Oh,
It's
I love
adorable.
it.
I know it's really cute. But because my brain will go, I love that, delete like
Yeah.
so fast, the more places I have it. But I think I've reached the maximum. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. Like
this
if you
is
go 5 calendars, it's too much. 5 calendars is too much.
five calendars, like they will rise up and defeat me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to keep your power.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one's my little like witchy daily
Oh, I
planner.
love
I
it.
know it's cute.
Oh my God, wait, that just reminded me. Never mind. You're gonna find out about it next episode because I don't have it on me. Stay tuned. This is how I do like a teaser.
Ooh, I
Stay
love a
tuned for my
teaser.
planner, my magical planner reveal next week.
I also have a reveal for next week, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe we will see.
Okay.
It's a little belated birthday present that's going to be coming to you. So I guess yeah,
If I
we'll
get if
do.
I get a present, I won't open it until we're on air.
That sounds perfect. Yeah,
Perfect. Okay. Well,
yeah.
should we dive into today's deck?
Yes, I'm so excited. I cannot believe I get to be the one who just like sits back and
It's really
relaxes.
nice. I can tell you from my turn, it's really nice.
I just get to
Okay,
relax.
well, today's deck that we're going to review is called the Golden Light Oracle.
Woo-hoo!
Woo! One
Ow!
of my favorites. I would say next to the tarot deck, this is my next, like if I had to keep just two decks, it would be the tarot deck and this deck. Like this is my go-to deck. Um, Especially an Oracle deck. It's created by, oh, I just looked up how to pronounce this, Aniel Reed, and illustrated by Cindy Monroy. And I found out about this deck, so I was just trying to dig up, like, how did I learn about this deck? And the roundabout way is that I bought an altar cloth on Etsy from this
Okay.
or company called Magic and Mediums, Magic with a K. They now have their own website, Magic with a K and mediums.com. Um,
I'm totally not on their Etsy site right now
It's
looking at
the
it.
Mystic and Moon Crystals altar cloth. Altar tarot
Okay.
cloth is the one like my that was my first ever altar cloth. Just funny because I now
Really?
have like so many. But that's where it all started. And so I got on their email list from that, and then they were doing a Kickstarter for their Golden Light Oracle deck, and I thought it was really pretty. So I contributed to enough to the Kickstarter that I like got a deck once they were printed. And I love this deck so much. So let me pull it out and give you a little show and tell.
I'm so excited. Also, I did just look at the altar cloth. Gorgeous.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
yeah.
I only have two, but okay, is that the back of the card?
This
Because
is the
that
back of
is
the deck.
gorgeous. Okay, so I can do a audio description. So it's a black background with like really gorgeous earth tones. It looks very like Scandinavian. It's very
Hmm.
like flowery. There's like a flower burst from the middle with all these like purple and they look like pink, like leaves coming out
Hmm.
of them. And then the like corners are like designed at little diagonals with like flowers blooming in the corners. It's really stunning.
It kind of reminds me of like looking through a kaleidoscope,
Oh, it does.
right?
It's like looking at Midsummer, like the movie, the
Ooh.
not scary parts of Midsummer through a
Yeah,
kaleidoscope.
I love that. And it's funny
Yeah.
you mentioned that it looks kind of like Scandinavian. They have a lot of cool decks. They have another one. Oh, actually, on the cover of this deck, they have thistles. So I think it is like kind of Northern European
Oh,
inspired. And then they have
I love
another
that.
deck that I really want to get and we'll review someday called the Slavic Oracle that looks really cool.
Very cool.
They
Okay.
have a lot of good decks. And so what I love about them is it's all like indie made, like they made it themselves. It's not like majorly published, self-published, like
Mm.
Kickstarter created. Um, I use this deck a lot for when the tarot is like too intense. Like it's a
Okay.
much softer deck. It's much like gentler with its messages. So if I'm reading
Okay.
for people who are kind of like intimidated, or might seem like they're like nervous about what they're gonna hear, I do this because you're never gonna get like a death card, you know? It's like all very
Mm-hmm.
soft, gentle imagery.
Yes, I like
Um,
that.
so speaking of the imagery, let's pull out some cards. Oh, this one's great.
Yay.
So
So,
oh, go
wait,
ahead.
can I ask a question? Sorry. So,
Yeah.
like, when we did like my Oracle deck last week, which is the Modern Nirvana Oracle, not last week, sorry, 2 episodes now. Our last tarot time was the Modern Nirvana Oracle deck. And
Mm-hmm.
we went through some of those words. Like, what would you say the theme of these words are? Like,
Ooh, like the theme of this deck.
yeah, because you said it's like a lot softer, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, what's the kind of like language that they use? Sorry, that's a tough
The
question.
language they use or the language I would use to describe it?
That one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it is I would say, and this is how my brain works, where of course instead of words, I'm immediately thinking of metaphors.
Oh, great.
But it kind of reminds me of like tea with a best friend, where it's like super
Oh,
gentle, super soft, super nourishing, but also no bullshit. Like they're gonna tell you what you need to hear, you know, and they're gonna be honest with you, but they're very like kind about that. And to just like they're never gonna like hurt your feelings, but they're also not gonna hold back.
I love that.
Um,
Like us.
yeah, like us. And it would say like the art and the vibe is very like modern, but not in the way of the modern Nirvana where it's like art like modern art, but more modern like kind of I mean you'll see when I show you the art, but it's got kind of like cutesy like hand-drawn illustrations and it's like the words and the imagery, it's
Oh,
all very like of today and very like Instagrammable. Um, and I think that like uh yeah, I think I feel like this deck to me it feels like a supportive friend, like someone you want in your corner on a bad day. Like it's a really good deck for a bad
oh,
day. Like if you're having a bad day and you just need a little like what could make me feel better right now? It's gonna like tell you what you need to hear, but it's also gonna be chill about it.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, little rainy day cozy. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you some artwork. Um that I think is really indicative of this deck. I think one thing I really love about this deck that I'll show you is how inclusive it is. So, like, it has a ton of different races, a ton of different, like, genders, a ton of different types of relationship.
Oh,
Um,
and bodies
and
too, it looks
yeah,
like.
so like different
Yeah.
sizes, different shapes, different bodies. Like, we got the Nourish. I know
Oh,
this is one of my favorite cards. Do you want to
is that
describe it?
Ingrid?
It totally is Inyard. It does. It just gives the vibe of like a strong Northern European mother.
I love it. Okay, so yeah, it's very like cartoony, but when I say that, I don't mean it in like an infantilized, like
Yeah.
childish way. It's like a very warm illustration of
Hmm.
a woman in a green kitchen with this like flowing, wavy blonde hair, and she's in like a little apron and she's whisking something in a bowl. It's really cute.
And it's the
And it's a
Nourish
Nourish card.
card. Because you gotta nourish your
Shut the fuck
body.
up.
But
That's
I mean,
so
it's
cute.
like
Yeah.
maybe this is the energy of this deck. Is like, you know, the like auntie who's gonna take you in and be like, sit down, I'm making you food. You gotta take care of yourself. Like, get it together.
Eat,
Like
eat.
soft scolding.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah, and I think the imagery, what I really like about the imagery in this deck is that like every image is a whole picture. So like and I feel like what I really love about it is you have these words like nourish, but then the imagery really draws out like a whole different energy to it. So if we look at this card, the support card, you have two figures who are like throwing a third figure up in the air to do like a spin. Uh,
Cute.
and what I love about it is it's like when we think of support, you know, we often think of like leaning on someone or needing someone's help. And whereas the imagery of this deck implies like support so that you can go further, so that you can do
Oh,
more, and knowing that you'll be caught if you fall.
that is so, that's so sweet because it's kind of like it's reminding me of a couple of like the Pentacles cards in the Rider Waite Smith's deck of
Hmm.
like it's like the like supporting it's like pulling somebody up from
Yeah, right. You
like
have like the
what's
one
the
where the
one that I'm
guy's on the
thinking?
cane and the like they're
Yeah, is
walking
that
by the
like the
church.
Five of Pentacles or
That's
some?
the one where they're walking by the church. And then there's a different
Yeah,
one where they're like, there's the like rich man who's giving food to like the poor and has the
yeah, like the
scales.
scales. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I was thinking of where it's like, oh, you're pulling somebody up from like a more destitute place. But this one
Yeah.
is like, oh no, I'm supporting you to fly
Right.
to
Like we're
like
all on the same team, literally. Like it's
I
like a
love
cheer
that.
team, you know?
That's really
I
sweet.
think sweet is like a word I would use to describe this deck for sure.
I freaking love that. That makes me really happy.
Another favorite. I also love these cards because the imagery is so intuitive. So like when I'm reading them to people, like this card, the Let Go card, it's got this woman, and I'll let you describe it.
Yeah, so it's a woman who's swimming underwater. She looks like Merida from Brave.
Totally.
Giant orange hair, flowing like purple robes, and she's swimming along with the little fishies. And she's like swimming up towards this like light
And what I
that looks
always
like the
point out to
surface. Yeah.
people that they don't notice, which I think is so appropriate for Let Go, is that at the very bottom of the ocean, there's all this baggage, like suitcases, and there's
Oh, I
these
didn't know that's what that
strings that
was.
used to connect her to the suitcases that have been cut. So it's like you gotta let go of your baggage to like reach the surface. So
I
it's
want one
like,
of these readings in person, like right
I
now.
know, it's just like the way you can describe, like, one of the questions we ask about these cards in our deck review is like, how intuitive are they? And I
Yes.
think what's cool about this card is like there's the obvious intuitive message of like, okay, like composure. What does the word composure mean, right? Like that has its own meaning.
Yeah.
But then when you start like looking at the photos or the images, the illustrations, it like blossoms the meaning of the word and it like gives you that
Oh.
depth of meaning that you're looking for when you're pulling a card. So like the composure card, all of a sudden it's like this woman is so composed and so chill, surrounded by mess, just surrounded like it's this woman laying on her back with her arms like behind her, hands behind her head, like eyes closed, ankles crossed, like you would chill in a meadow. But
Hmm.
she's surrounded by like cookies and
I think I saw
like
fairy lights.
yeah, fairy like unstrung up fairy lights and trash and like random just like it looks like she's in the middle of cleaning out her room and just decided to take a chill break. It's just
That
like
looks like my that
composure.
looks like me.
Composure in the midst of chaos, right? Of like how do you hold space for all that and still be able to like take a deep breath, take time for yourself even when everything around you is chaos, rather than just like keep your composure, you know?
I'm so tickled that you showed me that because literally I finished therapy and then I was like today this morning and then I was like, "Oh, I should probably like fold some laundry." So I sorted them into piles on my bed and then I was like, that was exhausting. Didn't fold them. So I took a nap on them.
Amazing. That was
So I just
literally you.
that was actually me. It was like they're very neatly organized piles, but I was just like very calm in this like it was pure laziness, not composure. But
Incredible.
yeah.
I mean, but maybe that is a form of composure to be able to give yourself that break amidst the
Wow.
chaos.
Yeah, I was totally not lazy and not wanting to finish my laundry. It's fine.
Okay, I want to show you one more because it's another
Yeah,
favorite of mine. It's the family card.
show me everything.
And what I love about the family
Oh,
card is it's this old man sitting in an armchair getting a kiss from this little girl, but the old man's all like black and white. And to me, or maybe old woman, old person. And to me, the old person gives the energy of like an ancestor or a ghost, right? Like they're not
yeah.
fully alive. But then where the little girl's kissing him or kissing them, their skin is starting to like turn skin color again. So they're like coming back to
Oh,
life through the love of their family. And I
I'm
love
glad
this
you pointed
card.
that out because I did not see. I can't see it as well because obviously we're
Right.
on Zoom. Um, oh my God, that's like so sweet. That makes me want to cry.
I know it to me it's such the energy of like working with your ancestors and like connecting with the beloved dead and
Oh, the
I just think
beloved
there's so
dead.
much beautiful like I think the art is beautiful, the words are beautiful, but then the like integration of spirit throughout
Hmm.
the cards I think is really cool. And you can tell there's just a lot more depth than what you see at the surface.
Oh, wait, it's reminding me. Sorry, it's
Mhm,
reminding me of
please.
another Rider-Waite-Smith cup. It is the Six of Cups, the one of
Is that
like
the little kids one?
the little
The
kids
nostalgia
one.
one?
Yeah. It's like that mixed with the Ten of Pentacles, which is like this kind of
Yeah.
generational family, like very stable. It's
Yeah.
like this just like very supportive, warm
Yeah.
feeling. I love that. That's like this is such a beautiful deck. It's giving me
And
like
that's what I
chills.
mean. There's no deck, like even the decks that are like more challenging, um, like concepts, like
Hmm.
things that might be a harder message to receive, like Denial is one of their decks. But even that, it's such a beautiful card. Like it's this
Oh,
person standing in a meadow and there's like they've got like black swirls all around their head and they've got like a black blindfold that they're holding on top of their eyes.
mhm.
And so it's like they have to let that blindfold go to see things clearly. But also it's like the flowers are blooming, the sky is clear, they have like a beautiful antler crown on their head. And so it's like if they put down the blindfold, they'll see that everything's okay. Like the world is
Oh,
beautiful. And I
that's
just
really
like
gorgeous.
there's no card in here where you pick it and you're like, oh shit. It's like they're all very beautiful, supportive, like kind messages.
Oh.
Um, while also like not like still getting to the heart of the matter, not being like so
Mhm.
soft that you can't get real, you know?
I
Uh
love that.
ah,
Yeah, it's not like babying you. They're very,
exactly.
it's like real things from like a very soft lens. I totally know what you mean now. It
Hmm.
also,
Hmm.
okay, I realized what it is. It's not, I think I said I like misspoke earlier. It reminds me of a children's book, not like childish cartoon wise. It
Yes.
reminds me of like a children's book where it's like very
Yes.
significant and timeless, like and ageless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And even the art too, like the illustrations are really um like they have that sort of like gentle, soft, colorful, like
Yeah.
almost accessibility to them. Like it's not overly drawn and like overly
Hmm.
detailed, but they still like have a powerful punch, like a really good I feel like this author would make a really good children's book or this illustrator.
I feel like you could probably pull random cards and then make a children's book
Oh my
based on those
God,
cards.
should I do a creative writing project like that where
Yes.
I love that idea.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I'm looking her up right now, Cindy Monroy, and I think she has done, yeah, she has done like some children's illustrations as well. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I love that.
God.
Mm,
Okay, so what else do we want to talk about? The book, the box and the container. So it comes with one of those like hard cardboard boxes,
oh, yeah.
where the top like slides on the bottom,
Hmm.
which I like a lot because it's very like when I leave it at my like markets and decks or my like reading table, it holds the cards really well.
Oh,
It's a nice
it's very like
box.
space efficient.
Yeah, it is. Like they fit perfectly. Like this box is
Mhm.
basically the size of the cards. And there's just like you can tell, see the book is like half an inch thick. So the booklet fits right in there as well. It's all
Oh,
very neat.
nice.
I like, I love a magnetic closure, but I also love a top closure because it's like just easy to use for me when I'm working at markets and stuff to like keep the
Hmm.
box open with the cards inside it.
Yeah.
And it also has like the little divots on the side that make the top easy to take on and off,
I
which is
noticed that.
crucial.
I noticed that, and it also has like a little illustration where that little
Yeah.
half circle divot is. Oh, that's so cute.
I mean, it's so thoughtfully designed, right? Like the cover,
Yeah.
the even the inside of the box has like design on the pages. It's like
Oh, that
every
okay. I just looked up their Etsy page because I was like, this is very cute. I want to shop around a little, and that's actually one of the patterns of their altar clocks.
oh, cool is like
Yeah.
inside the box. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
Oh,
gorgeous.
cool.
It's like this kind of forest green with like almost kind of like a cream or like golden pattern through it that's like very floral and geometric, but it has like little plants in it. It's really cute.
Oh my God, I have great news for you.
Tell me
I've
news.
literally never read the back of this. I've literally never read the back of this box because I just bought it. But
Okay.
okay. Receive sage guidance from this 44 card deck. So it's only 44 cards, which is very like it's nice because I know all of the cards. Like I feel
Okay.
very familiar with all of them and it's very manageable for like shuffling.
Mhm.
Um, but it's definitely on the smaller side, as far as Oracle decks are concerned. Anyway, receive sage
Yeah.
guidance from this 44 card deck and illustrated guidebook set perfect for those who are ready to ascend to a life of purpose, authenticity, and magic.
Hmm.
As each card highlights universal spiritual principles and deep truths, this is an accessible tool for anyone to use to connect with the power and wisdom of their own soul. With diverse characters and relaxing art, inspired by the islands of Fair Isle and Iona, which are two Scottish islands, this is a
You nailed
gentle yet
it.
powerful deck inviting you not only to see the light, but becoming it. And that makes me so happy that it's Scottish inspired and I didn't even know it.
I mean, the thistle made a lot of sense. It's a very kind of like Scandinavian design, but
Yeah.
also Scotland is very Scandinavian.
Yeah, and also thistles are Scotland.
Yeah,
And now I wonder what all the other flowers on the deck are. I bet they're all Scottish flowers.
I bet they are.
Wow, that's thrilling. I love that I have a secret Scottish deck and I didn't even know it.
A secret Scottish deck. I
It
love
also makes
that.
sense why so many of the characters have red hair. It's like, I mean, I get that they're being inclusive and they're doing like all different hair colors, all different bodies, all different shapes, but like there's a weird number of red-haired characters in this book for, or in this deck for a deck that's
Huh.
just like all different race and colors. I'm like, red hair's not that common.
In Scotland it
In
is.
Scotland it is, makes more
Much more.
sense.
All right, so question for you.
Yes.
Because we talked about the box
Yes.
and the packaging of it. What is the
Mhm.
bagability?
I would say it's pretty baggable. It's like pretty, it sounds like we're talking about like how easy it is to have sex with. Like how like I can bag that. Like
What's the hoability of this deck?
but it's super baggable.
Okay, so just to clarify, if you haven't listened to our other Tarot Time episodes, baggability is a quality of having tarot cards, of being able to throw it like reasonably, throw it in a purse or a backpack or something where it like doesn't take up too much space. It
Hmm.
doesn't randomly open and spill your cards everywhere.
Hmm.
And I don't know, is like just kind of compact and efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's pretty baggable because it fits like
Now I can't stop hearing.
the cards fit nicely inside the box. So it doesn't take up a lot of extra space. It's a pretty sturdy like box, so it's not
Mm,
going to take a lot of damage. I haven't, I mean, I've thrown it in a couple of boxes and bags, and like the corners are all still very neat. It's not dented, scratched, or anything. It also like the fit of the top to the bottom of the box is like easy to open but still snug, so it's not gonna like slide open on its own. Um,
it's not like the board game box effect where you're like
yeah, yeah,
shaking the top of it, like, okay,
exactly. Or
this
the
is
top
never
just
gonna come
slides
out.
off or whatever. Yeah, it's like right a nice in between.
I love that.
So I would say 10 out of 10 bagability.
Very baggable. And they look like
Shuffling.
decently sized cards too,
Yeah,
which
so
I
I
really
would
like.
say
Yeah.
they're pretty like standard Oracle size where they're like that bigger rectangle, like bigger than the tarot, but not like they still fit in my hand.
Hmm.
Like they're not crazy. They're definitely on the larger side, but because it's such few cards, I find them still pretty shuffleable. I also have shuffled them like the like casino dealer way where you cut the deck and like do like
Uh,
can I show you?
the bridge. Oh, okay.
It's hard to do not on
Sarah,
a table, but so they're very shuffleable in all the ways.
Sarah just shuffled the cards mid-air, like, like the
I don't know what you
the
call I
two
call it the casino
thumbs.
dealer way, where you cut the deck in half and then you take your thumbs and you like, you know.
That was very impressive.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
like
you.
genuinely in awe.
And they're
If it
big
was
cards.
me, if it was me, they would be like everywhere right now.
Lots of practice. But
Be
yeah,
like,
so I find
goodbye.
they're pretty shuffleable. They don't like stick to each other. They've got that like linen kind of matte finish, which is really nice. They're like
Ooh.
good thick cards, but not stiff.
Okay.
It's a perfect deck, is my takeaway. Even the edges are
Love it.
like gold.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That's
Yeah. So it's all
gorgeous.
shiny and pretty.
Oh,
So yeah, feel shuffleability, intuitability, all of it's really great. We should look at the booklet.
Yes.
So one thing I love about the booklet is it's tiny. I feel like booklets take up so much space and space is at a premium with these things. And so I love that it's very like small. You would definitely need like either good eyesight or reading glasses for this booklet. The text is probably like a 9 font.
That is
But it
pretty
does mean
tiny.
everything fits on like a couple pages, which is nice. But like
Mm-hmm.
especially if I'm reading, like I don't really use the booklets that often, but if I were to
Mm-hmm.
use them in like a real professional reading situation, a lot of those rooms are kind of dim. So you would need some reading glasses for this.
Like one of those like
Um,
clip-on lights.
there's like a
Like,
dead bug inside the booklet.
oh,
Whoops.
cute. Like one of those like clip-on reading lights for
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
totally. So it's alphabetical is how they've sorted it because the cards don't have numbers.
Hmm.
But then in the table of contents, they also list each card and the page that they're on, which is really nice.
There's a card called DNA.
Yeah, you want to see it?
I do want to see that.
The
Oh,
DNA
I
card is cool. Actually, let's read the DNA card because I just have been reinterpreting it for clients, so I'd be interested to see what the guidebook says about it. The
and I
DNA
think we've
card, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think we've talked about this before too. But like I think there's like a little bit of a debate, little push and pull between like what the author and illustrator intended on the meaning and then what you decide
Hmm.
to gain the meaning from. I think like with oracle cards, it can get much harder because tarot cards like generally have a set structure.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't really deviate too much from that like core meaning, but
yeah.
because oracle cards are like so just made by the person, unless you are like a true professional like Sarah and like really trust yourself, it's totally fine to like rely on the cards, but it's also great to rely on your own meaning, like
Yeah.
to glean your own mean.
Yeah, clean your own mean. And I do think like, we talk about like the intuitability of our cards, and I think these are very intuitable where
Oh,
like overall the art and the words really speak for themselves. Like you don't have to go to the booklet. There are a few cards like the DNA card or like this card, the aura card, where it's just a woman
oh,
with like a golden cloud around her, where it's
very
like
cool.
I feel like that the descriptions help because there's not as much imagery to pull from, it's very
Right.
simple. Similarly, the DNA card is just like a blue backdrop with gold DNA
Ooh,
helix running across it,
that's really pretty.
isn't it?
It kind of looks a little bit like each of the DNA strands. Um, I think they're called the polypeptides, but don't quote
Oh
me
my
on that.
God,
I
science
know,
nerd.
I know.
Whereas last episode, I'm pretty sure we were struggling to remember if the Earth revolved around the sun or not. So we're only smart when our brains are functioning.
Oh my God. Oh, it's selective. It's very selective.
It's just that we contain a lot of self-doubt. And if we
And
start
multitudes.
if we start to question ourselves, we can't stop.
No, then I don't even know my name by the end of it. But I was gonna
Anyway,
say
what are the poly pockets?
the Polly Pockets. They look like a mozzarella cheese stick
Oh my
being
God.
pulled apart.
Oh,
Sorry.
I've been craving mozzarella sticks for literally 2 months. Charlie and I need to go buy some tomorrow.
I crave them frequently.
Yeah, mozzarella sticks. Mozzarella sticks are like my drunk food. They're what I get, or they used
Mm,
to be when we lived in a city. We would always stop at like a little corner shop and get mozzarella sticks on the way home. And I don't think I've had mozzarella sticks for like a solid year, and my heart is struggling. Anyway,
get yourself if you're listening
get
and you
yourself a
have access
mozzarella
to
stick.
mozzarella sticks. If
Eat
you are
one on my
privileged,
behalf. Do it for me.
if you are privileged enough to have mozzarella stick access, go do it. Go get yourself, go make yourself happy. And if you're lactose
Um,
intolerant, just be alone for a bit. just
just be alone for a bit.
just make it happen.
we'll eat cheese and then be alone for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the DNA card, I'm going to use this one as an example because I've been pulling it
Mm.
a lot for people lately and I've been interpreting it in my own way, but I'm interested to see like how the deck actually does it, and then it'll be a good demo of like how the booklet works.
Yeah. And then I want to hear yours after. Yeah.
Oh no, I'll do mine first, so I
Oh,
won't
do yours
forget
first.
it.
Okay.
So the DNA card's been coming up for a couple times for me in like it has come up in a couple different ways. One way that it's been coming up is I tell people like it comes up a lot in the like you were born for this energy of like believe in
Oh.
yourself. Like you can do this. It's in your DNA. Like you know how to do this. It's in your body. You can do this. As well as the kind of energy of like with that in mind, this energy of like what is yours will find its way to you. Like you cannot miss an opportunity
Oh.
that's meant to you because it will come like the spiral of the DNA, like it will come back around.
Oh, I
Because it's in
love
your DNA.
that.
It's meant for you. So that's
Oh,
how I've been reading it because I hadn't read the booklet in forever. And so, but I always find what's interesting is like now that we're going to read the booklet, it's going to come up in different ways. Like the cards know how I'm going to interpret them, right? And so when the
yes.
guides, like when the cards pop up, they know what I'm going to say. So once
Hmm.
I've like recently read a definition for a card or like listened to a podcast where they're talking about a tarot card in a different way, all of a sudden that card will start showing up in that context, almost as like oh, well, now that you have this meaning for that card, let's use it.
Very, very cool.
So
I
now
love
that we
that.
read the DNA, I'm interested to see how it shows up in future readings. Okay, so the way the booklet is sorted, it's got those like magazine pages, which like my
Oh,
sensory disorder doesn't love, but I accept it.
do you mean that kind of like
Yeah,
glossy,
and like
like plasticky almost?
yes, and like you
Okay.
don't want to touch it for too much because it makes your fingers sad. That kind of
Yeah.
paper.
Hmm. I actually do know what you mean though. This is where our neurodivergence
Mhm.
like
Converges,
comes meets and shakes hands with each other. Like yes, yes.
but
I
only
see.
sometimes because handshaking can be, you're sweaty and clammy and bleh. Only when it's not a sensory nightmare.
Yes.
Okay, so on the pages, they have a little picture of the card, which we always appreciate.
I do like that a lot.
And then they have the name of the card, and then they have a little like subheader. So the subheader for DNA is the building block of life.
Ooh.
Appropriate. Oh, it's literally just a definition because I just flipped over to family, and the subheader is a group of people living together as a unit, all the descendants of a common ancestor.
Um,
So
okay,
it's so the
dictionary.com.
subheading is literally just a definition of the word.
Okay.
Um, and then it has card meanings. And so it has keywords. So and it has upright versions and then reverse versions. So the upright versions are Akashic Library, biology, code, evolution, expansion, intergalactic, possibility, and signature
Whoa.
are some of the upright words. Some of the reverse words are carcinogen, genetic disorder, tracking, unraveling, virus.
Okay. That is like it's a little more literal than I
It
thought it
is
was gonna
definitely more
be.
literal, so I'm interested to see what the like interpretations are. Also one of the reversed read meanings is starseed, which I makes me very happy that they put that in the reversed meaning because a lot of people use starseed as like I'm a child of the stars. But what a lot of people don't know is that starseed is actually a Nazi term.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, wait, hold on. Okay. What?
Yeah. So starseed was a term. Let's see if I can find like a Um, yes. Okay. So it comes from this belief that like Aryans weren't of the same DNA as
Um,
other races and that they
mhm.
are star seeds, that they are children of the stars. Uh, and so I'm really happy that this book knows that and put Starseed as the bad side. This concept of like being a different DNA than others and like,
Like
eugenics.
negatively unique.
Yeah, that they put it in the reversed, like the along with like carcinogen and genetic disorder. And so it's like we aren't taking the starseed to be like, you're a child of the stars, but the starseed is like you have a messed up eugenics way of thinking about DNA.
Well, that's fucked up because that's a really cute
I
phrase.
know it's really been co-opted by the new age girlies to be like, I am a child of stardust. Uh,
I mean, kind of like,
which like we are all stardust.
yeah,
Love that idea, but like, and to be fair, I only learned this recently. Like we learn, we grow, we get better.
the more you know.
The more you know. And then, so
Oh,
then after
God.
that, it has interpretations for the cards. So it's got a
Okay.
blockage position, a divination position, and then the reversed position. Um,
Oh, okay.
let's read because I don't want to read
That's
all
cool that
each.
those, but it's cool that they like separate those though too.
Yeah,
Hmm. Never
yeah.
heard of that
I've
before. Yeah.
seen that before where they'll say like I haven't heard it reversed or I mean divided in this way. I've seen it divided in like love reading, career reading,
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I like that. So it's like, okay, if you pull up like what's blocking me right now and you get DNA, it means one thing. If you're looking like divination, like what guidance do I need right now and you pull DNA, that's a different thing. Whereas if you
Interesting. Okay.
pull like it comes up reverse, that's its own meaning. They're each like a couple of like a short paragraph. I think I want to read the divination position. That one's calling to
Hmm.
me the most. So if I pulled DNA in the divination position, it would say, you are changing on a genetic level, which means you will experience a whole array of ascension symptoms as your body begins to crystallize and you become more of your sorry, and you become more of your multidimensional and magical self. So I've actually never read the booklet right before. And now I'm learning why.
I have, I think it's, I don't mean to be disrespectful
It's
of the
okay, I couldn't
author.
even get through that sentence without laughing.
I just don't know like how helpful that is in
No.
reality. Like, can you imagine saying that to like a client straight faced
Mhm.
and being like, and that is your divination
Your
reading, and they're,
body is beginning to crystallize. You're becoming more of your multi-dimensional self.
girl, no. For those who are listening, my face is just perma
You
confused
have
right
like
now.
yeah, you have like you smelled something bad.
I have like the little like eyebrow
Yeah.
match right now. Like,
We're giving
what
you
the
wrinkles right now.
hell? Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to crystallize into my
Your
wrinkles.
multi-dimensional form.
my my multi-dimensional wrinkles.
Okay, someday when we create our merch store, I want like a beautiful graphic of a very like wrinkled old woman that has just in like bubble font like I have crystallized into my multi-dimensional form.
Okay, okay, wait.
Write it down,
I
write it
do
down.
I do design stuff on the side. I did the podcast cover art
Oh
and
yeah.
I love doing design stuff, so that will be
Yeah, I have a running list of merch that we've joked about on this show, so I'll send it over to you one of these days.
okay, please. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. Oh, also, sorry, it's gonna bother me. I called them polypeptides. They're not polypeptides, they are nucleotides. I am so
Ah,
sorry to the science community.
and the Earth revolves around the sun.
That is true. That is true.
The more you know.
The
And we are multi-dimensional crystallized beings.
wait, what is it? I
I
have
have crystallized into my multi-dimensional form,
okay.
or something like that. I'll let you know in editing.
Okay, I'm writing it down right now. I have ideas. I love
Good,
that.
good. So yeah,
Oh my
so I
God.
think my takeaway from this, oh, and then they also have an action position. So,
Oh,
um,
so I'm assuming that's like, oh, what do I need to do? Or like,
exactly. So the
what?
example
Okay.
in here is treat yourself with care for the thoughts you believe, what you consume, and the actions you take impact you on a cellular level. See, I like that.
I mean, that's actually, yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And then it also has affirmations. So the affirmations for this one are I am unique and I
Hmm.
am made of star stuff.
I like that much better than the Nazi version.
Yeah, yeah,
I like that both. I think the Oracle deck that I reviewed last time also had mantras in it, and I think that's
yeah.
like
I love when they do that.
it's like a really beautiful thing. Also, just because I don't know, I think in the work that I do, which is mental health, like
Mhm.
affirmations are such a huge thing. Um,
Oh.
and this is just my little mental health plug. This is what I tell all my kiddos is, and I'm not good at this myself. I'm very good at telling people what they
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
do
Do
for
as
their
I say,
brain.
not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. But I tell people, and I think this is true for everyone and very helpful. So
Mhm.
free advice from
Wow,
your
from a
mental
professional.
from your mental health bestie. Um, whatever you say to yourself that is negative or even positive, our brains are a little bit stupid. You know, we have our lizard brains back in there that just kind of operate just without thinking about things too much. So when
Hmm.
you're saying negative things to yourself, your brain and your ears are actually hearing it back and absorbing it as information too. So whatever you say to yourself is going to be self-fulfilling. So your lizard brain is going to hear when you're mean to yourself and start believing that it's true. Even if your higher thinking knows better and you're like, and I'm guilty of this all the time of like, oh, I'm like I'm so ugly today. Like I feel,
Oh,
like whatever.
yeah.
Lizard brain is listening and it's going to start to really absorb that. Just kidding, I am beautiful. I don't always feel that way, but I am.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah, you
cracking.
are
Anyway,
beautiful.
so are you.
Love.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think that
You're like,
this deck, I think that the so far what I'm learning from this booklet is that while we love the art on the deck, we love the concepts of all the cards. It's maybe a
mm-hmm.
mixed bag with the booklet. Like they might have some things that really resonate and some things that you might want to like I might continue to use my own meaning of DNA and not you are crystallized into your
I like
multidimensional
that.
form.
Yeah, I support you in that.
One thing I do love about the booklet is that it's almost entirely interpretation pages. Like there are two pages at the beginning that are just like how to use this deck and one spread idea, and then like two
Oh,
pages at the bottom at the end about the creators. And like that's it. So I really appreciate that because I feel like some decks you pick up and they have like six pages about like introduction and forward and like how to use this deck. And it's like, oh my God, I don't
mhm.
need like a 101 on like how this deck was created and why.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
mean
never
that,
gonna read it.
yeah, to be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. Um,
Yeah, and then that's the booklet. What else? Magic level. That's all we got
yeah.
left. Got to pull card for you.
Yeah. Oh wait, so are you gonna why do I ask this every time? Are you going to pull some cards for me?
So the way we've done it with the deck review in the past that I really like is one for me, one for you, and one for the
Oh
listeners.
yeah. Why do I always forget that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's written in the notes. Get your
Yeah,
shit together, Caitlin.
I
Sorry,
will
lizard
not.
brain's gonna hear me. Caitlin is perfect and does nothing wrong.
That is rotely untrue, but we
Caitlin
love our
makes
mistakes.
mistakes because they're human.
Hmm.
My dog. I got distracted.
Oh.
Kaylin makes mistakes because they are human, but I still love them and adore them for exactly as they are.
Aw, you're so sweet.
That's what I tell your lizard brain. Take that, lizard brain.
Listen. All right, can I ask a little question?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so I am actually starting my new job soon. And actually I'm looking at like in a week and a half. So I kind of want to know what is a good message or like what do I need to hear or remember or keep in mind? Like, what do I need to hear going into this? Like, what should I carry with me? Do, do, do,
Okay, so as I
do.
shuffle
Okay.
these cards, I am asking for one card to give one message to Caitlin that they can carry with them into their new job to support them as they begin this new chapter. I love
Oh,
it. It's one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. It's the True Self card.
shut.
And so this card shows a red-haired Scottish babe
Mm-hmm.
uh in like a beautiful wrap dress and like all these cool kind of golden plants behind them and they're holding a fig they're themselves but it's shadow and it's like a black shadow version of themselves and they're like holding it by the
Oh,
hair and but not in like a mean like pulling it by the hair but like a gentle stroking of the hair like if you look they're being very gentle.
yeah.
And to me, this card is about connecting with all the parts of you and showing up as who you are in all your truth and your beauty and not hiding any of the brilliance of the light or the complexity of the shadow and letting all of you be present in this space. And I know that that hasn't always been welcome or wanted in work situations in the past. And I think the
Mm-mm.
invitation here is as you show up in this new space, show up as who you are and be yourself and your truest self and watch as everybody fucking loves you. And even if they don't, that's their problem.
Your loss. No,
Your
that's
loss.
actually that's so sweet and like so spot on. I don't know why I had the thought earlier today. I was like, oh no, like I haven't gotten too much stuff about the dress code, like too much information
Mm.
on that. So I was like, oh no, what if I have to like dye my purple hair
Oh
like
no.
back? And I was like, no. And then I remembered I just heard this like little voice. I was like, fuck that. I'm still a professional no matter what my hair color is. I'm still great at my job. So like I actually told myself that today. And I think that is so like creepily spot on magic level, 1,000 out of 10 for me so far.
Oh, I love that. Okay. My card. I want to pull a card. I feel like, the listeners don't know this, but you do. I'm recovering from a concussion. Um, I
Silly Sarah.
right before oh fuck you cards. Okay. Um
What happened?
so I was gonna say I'm recovering from a concussion. Right before my concussion, I had like I was sick for like a week. We don't know if it was just a cold or strep throat or what, but I got better. But I had a really bad like throat pain and was in a lot of like sicky, gross feels. And then I recovered from that and immediately got a concussion and now have like a week or two of recovery from my concussion. And I've just been feeling really stressed about like, oh, I have so much to do, like good things, like my life. There's a lot of things I'm really excited about and I want to make time for, but I feel like there's all this, self-care I gotta do or like breaks I gotta take. And I was gonna pull a card of like, how do I ride the balance? How do I hold space for everything I need to be doing, everything I want to be doing, and everything my body needs at this time?
Mhm.
And I was going to shuffle the deck and I flipped it over and looked at the bottom before I even decided to pick a card, and the bottom of the deck was the Nourish card.
Like, oh
Uh,
no, give yourself what you need.
so I feel like that's just like, and they do this to me sometimes. Usually, when I'm reading for others, like I will feel inclined to like glance at the deck suddenly, and that card's for me. And in this case, that's I feel like what happened. They're like, "This is the one you need." And also, I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna look at what's under it," and under it is denial. And so they're like saying like stop denying that you need to take a break and take care of
Hmm.
yourself, that it's like what your body needs is not to be working so much, like it hurts your brain to look at screens. Stop looking
Yes.
at screens. I'm like, oh shit, I'm recording this podcast. Like there's screens everywhere.
Oh no.
Oh no. So yeah, I'm gonna go make cookies after this or something. I did buy sour candies
Fun.
yesterday. That felt like a little bit of nourishment.
That is
Uh,
nourishment. Sour candies are always nourishment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it feels like that's a pretty direct message. I need to focus on taking care of my body right now and nourishing myself and taking it easy,
Hmm.
and the busy time will come later.
I think you and I really do have that in common too, of like when we're down, we don't give ourselves too much permission to be down. Like, we're just like, oh no, like and then treat other people totally differently. Like, you're hurt, rest. Like,
Yesterday, Charlie was like came out of the shower or something, and I was like, I emptied the dishwasher and I did like this, that, and the other. And he just looks at me and goes, you know, you don't have to prove that you're like helping out while you're sick, right? And I was like, shut up.
like, don't call me on it.
Shut up, I'm helpful.
And yes, I do have to prove that yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I have done
I'm carrying
things.
my weight. And he's like, no, you don't need to. You have a concussion. Go lay down. So
I love
that's what
him.
I'm learning from this is after our episode, I need to spend this week laying down.
Lay down and listen to nice podcasts.
Like our this fantastic new podcast that's hit the scene recently called Empress and the Fool.
Oh yeah,
I heard
they're
it's like
very relaxing.
banging.
It's it's very baggable.
It's so baggable.
Oh
10 out of
no,
10 baggable.
10 out of 10. That's another, you know what?
Another merch.
On a tote bag. Okay. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so pulling one last card. This card is for the listeners. Wherever they are, whenever you're listening, wherever you are, whatever is on your mind, this card is what you need to hear in this moment. Okay, this is an interesting one because it's another one I struggle with the interpretation of. Is the evoke card.
Ooh.
And it has a figure that's sitting cross-legged, surrounded by candles, kind of calling in this energy. I don't know, I'm feeling like I should read the booklet for this one.
Do it.
Hey,
I think, wait, while you're looking for
yeah,
that, can you show me the card again? Because it's very like dark, earthy tones. It's very like
right?
under.
It's like the witches in Charmed, like up in their basement, like crafting some magic is the
Yes.
vibe it gives me.
Yeah, it's like very dark greens, a lot of like soil colors, like it's like underbrush kind of. It's very pretty though. Spooky.
Ah, ah, ah. Okay, there was a reason I was meant to read this. This is the best. You are not only powerful enough to ask for change, but strong enough to accept it and have it make you become the change that you seek.
That is gorgeous. I think like a full head and shoulders above the DNA definition. I think that's actually
Uh-huh.
like
And the
very
affirmations
timely.
are, I am magical, I am
Hmm.
open.
Yes, you are. Yes,
So
you
ask
are.
for change and then embrace the change when it comes and know that you're powerful enough to do what you want to make that change a reality.
I think honestly, like one of the things that I was thinking about while you're pulling that is, well, this is a very welcome distraction from the shitstorm that's happening all the time and every day. And we're not here to
Mhm.
remind you of that too acutely, but we also can't ignore that that's
Yeah,
all
our world
happening.
is
And
falling apart.
yeah, it's making people feel very helpless, including myself. It kind of feels, a lot of it feels like so much bigger than you are. And I'm saying you
Mhm.
generally. Like, I have felt like, oh my God, this is just like so much is happening beyond me.
Yeah.
And so I was actually thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, a lot of us just need to feel very empowered, but also very rested at the same time, because this
Mhm.
is exhausting. This is
Nourish
like
and evoke.
this is a marathon of
It
nonsense.
is. It is.
Yeah. So um, yeah, like we absolutely, as a collective,
Mhm.
as listeners, as podcast co-hosts, as people who love and people who
Yeah.
care, we have so much power. And
Yeah.
it's not always easy to know where that is. So
And
just
taking
hard as
that
well.
time to like call in the change you want to see and then like
Mhm.
take the inspired action. Like I think that's a part of magic that I'm sure we'll talk about a lot, but like it's
Yeah,
not just about calling in the change. It's not just about asking the guides for support or manifesting through visualization. It's then taking the inspired action that creates reality out of that, right? And so it's like we
yeah,
evoke the change we want and then we take the action to make that change a reality.
yeah. I mean, like magic is so political, like, and
Mm-hmm.
it always has been, and it's always
Mm-hmm.
been supportive, and it's always been focused on the community and what we
Yeah.
can do. Like, girl, historically, witches have not been the ones to sit down and be like, oh, okay. No, they're the ones getting burned at the stake for being who
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
and like for
And for being
doing,
like, oh, you got pregnant and no one else will deal with it. I'll deal with it. Like,
yeah,
I'll help you out. Your husband's being an asshole. Like, I got your back. Like, we're the ones who
yeah,
people come to when no one else will support them.
really, really. If you need to be supported, be supportive. If
Yeah.
you can help support somebody else, support somebody else. Do it all within your capacity
Mhm.
and with love.
And
That
why
is a
not
really
both?
beautiful. Yeah, and
Be
porque no
supported
los.
and support if you can.
There's a phrase that my partner and I use all the time. It's like porque no los dos is like why not both? Ours is now porque no los todos? Why not all of it? Like why not all of it?
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
do los todos.
Do it all, but
I
in like a
love that.
chill, rested way.
Yeah, and like do everything, but not so much. But
Yeah.
all of it, but not now.
Perfect. That's our message to you. So glad we're here for you. What would you be
Yes.
without us?
Yes. Um, Before we wrap up, is there
Mhm.
anything else we need to talk about with the tarot thing? Because there is one little piece of world news that I would love to highlight before we go.
No, I think that's it. That's the deck. It's called The Golden Light Oracle by Anielle Reed. We'll put links in the show notes. Come
Mhm.
back next week. We'll be talking about what is a
Yeah.
witch, looking at like where the term witch comes from, what it
Yay.
means to be a witch, what it meant in the past, what it means today.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, that's it on my end. What do you have, Caitlin?
Well, I was gonna say too, because I have been checking out their Etsy, the people who made these Oracle cards, they are again magic and mediums on Etsy. Go check
And
them
just
out.
magicandmediums.com, but magic
Oh
with a
yeah,
K.
yes, magic with a K. It's gorgeous. I might be purchasing things.
I want their Slavic deck.
Whoops. Um, so one of the things that I wanted to highlight that I did send to Sarah a couple weeks ago, that I was like so excited about a couple weeks ago. I don't know what time is. Okay, so a it's actually on Kickstarter as well. And
Nice.
you could go kickstart this right now. It is near and dear to our hearts in so many ways. Is the Witches of Scotland tartan that is getting released. Did you know I was going to say that?
Yes. I did because I remembered that you sent it to me, and also I had a couple other friends send it to me. It's so epic. I'm so excited about it.
It's so cool. So it's a tartan that was launched on International Women's Day 2020, which at the time of
Wow.
recording, it is International Women's Day today.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Synchronicity.
It is
Mind
a
blown.
gorgeous cosmic melding. All right. So it is a gorgeous, like black, gray, and red tartan that was made to honor the witches that were persecuted in primarily, I think, in like Scotland and the UK,
Hmm.
because that history there is pretty strong. But I think it's just also a signal, um, kind of internationally. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people who identified as witches or participated in witchcraft.
Well, and I also think it's not just people like, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but it's people who were persecuted as witches. So, like,
Yeah,
it's not only people who identified as witches, it's people who were also just like women who
yeah,
were called witches for whatever
yeah.
reason and persecuted under that, the
So
Witchcraft Act.
yeah, so obtain a pardon for those convicted as witches under the Witchcraft Act of 1563.
Mm,
Um, the Prime Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, who is quite a badass, responded to the request and extended a formal state apology to all those who had been affected by the witchcraft trials. So this
Wow.
tartan is to honor that pretty horrible history,
Yeah.
and to empower and celebrate those people. So
Mhm.
if you're looking for something really cool to back with a lot of meaning and get a cool little tartan blanket or a scarf, you can go there. I am not being paid. I'm just looking
We
at this
just love
going, that
Scotland
is,
and witches.
we love Scotland. We love witches. Scotland is where our friendship was born, and our podcast is about witches. How could I not talk about
Yeah,
this?
no,
Um,
unnecessary. And we even did the Scottish inspired oracle today.
yes, we
Synchronicities
did.
everywhere.
And it does say too, um, I'm not going to go over the horrible stuff, but you can imagine the horrible stuff. It says approximately 2,500 witches were executed at that time.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's a lot. So, like, I guess in honor of International Women's Day, in honor of Scotland, in honor of our friendship, and
Yeah.
just witches all around the world, um, thank you.
Yeah. And go
Yeah,
support the project. We'll link to it in our show notes.
yeah. All right, that's my little addendum to
Thank
the end.
you.
Yeah, thank you. That was a beautiful Oracle deck.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. We'll be back again next week to talk about what is a witch.
Hmm.
So come join us. Do all the things, the liking, the following, the commenting, the reviewing. I don't know. Do what you can. Tell someone we exist. Help
Yeah.
us get more downloads and more text from my mom.
Yes.
Uh,
And help us potentially get sponsored so that we can actually buy tarot cards for our
Ooh, I like
podcast.
that. I like that goal. Let's manifest that. No, you know what I'm
I
manifesting?
yeah.
I'm manifesting enough like like would help if
Mm,
I could remember words.
there's
I'm
an upward
blaming it on the
motion.
concussion. Enough
Yes,
like support and enough traction. Haha.
traction.
Enough traction for this podcast that someday we can have a live show in Scotland. I'm putting that out in the
Everybody,
universe.
everybody, just think about it real quickly so it
Yeah.
can crystallize into the multi-dimensional space.
And on that note, as is above,
So is below,
as is within.
so is without.
Thank you,
I love you.
and blessed be.
I always forget to say that part. Blessed be.
Bye.
Bye.